Hey, this is Sprocket. I really enjoy ripping Tailgate Talks. This one is another one from an airport. This time, we're not sitting in a bar, having a sandwich, drinking a beverage. We are literally sacked out on the carpet at a terminal, squeezing in a tailgate talk with a couple of firefighters on their way to Alaska to fight wildland fires. This is a really cool episode, and if you watch it on YouTube, you will see the three of us literally sitting on the carpet at a terminal. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, here's words from our title sponsors.
Are you looking for the best camouflage apparel and hunting packs on the planet? Badlands lives and breathes technology, performance, and quality. Sprocket and Chubbs love the innovative hunting apparel in the Approach and Approach FX camouflage patterns. There is apparel and a Badlands backpack for every hunting style. Badlands also offers their legendary unconditional lifetime warranty. To find out more, visit badlandsgear.com. The king of adjustable pin archery sights, HHA Sports is home of the Tetra Rise 2-pin slider. Featuring a fixed secondary pin and secondary yardage marker, the Tetra Rise allows you to adjust your aiming point at full draw. With a silky 2.1 inches of travel, the Tetra Rise features the longest sight tapes they have ever built for unmatched long-range accuracy. HHA sights are proudly made in the USA and carry a 100% lifetime warranty. Find out more at hhasports.com or visit your local archery dealer today. When you think Latitude Outdoors, you think saddle hunting. Latitude Outdoors is fueled by creativity and obsessed with the details. And their saddles are made right here in the USA. As far as we're concerned, Latitude Outdoors makes the very best hunting saddles on the market. High quality gear that is safe, comfortable, and simply fun to hunt from. There's a Latitude Outdoors saddle for every size and shape hunter out there. Want to learn more about saddle hunting? Go to latitudeoutdoors.com and have fun. Who do Sprocket and Chubbs rely on for our optics needs? Vortex Optics. Binoculars, rifle scopes, rangefinders, and more, Vortex offers premium products that are an investment in your hunting future. Their customers are at the center of everything they do. Their VIP warranty, where the VIP stands for Very Important Promise, means if your Vortex product becomes damaged or defective, they will repair or replace it at no charge to you. For all your optics needs, visit vortexoptics.com.
Hey everybody, it's Sprocket. I am in the Chicago airport, Terminal C, on my way home from working in Colorado Springs. There's like wildland firefighters everywhere, and as I was cruising through the terminal looking for a place to sit and eat and do a little bit of work, maybe have an adult beverage, somebody here, Phil, Big Phil, he hollers at me because I'm wearing Badlands camo. I don't even think he's noticed the only Badlands prosthetic in the world sitting behind us.
It's pretty awesome.
We start, shoot the shit, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm game for a podcast." Now, the only caveat I have to this is he is wearing a Matthews ball cap, which is.
I gotta rep it, man.
Chubbs is a huge Matthews fan, so we go back and forth all the time. So I'm gonna let these gentlemen introduce themselves. Then we're gonna dive into some camo and some hunting and talk about maybe some wildland firefighting. We have like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So my name's Phil. I am from Seneca, Kansas. I haven't even told you yet. I have my own little hunting channel that I shouldn't say channel, little Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. Send It Hunting and Outdoors is mine. So
okay.
That little plug for that for me personally. But I hunt just about everything around Kansas. Would love to get out west eventually, but do a lot of deer hunting on my stuff, turkey hunting, coyote hunting.
Now you're going to be up in Alaska here tonight,
yeah, we're going to be up in Alaska. I mean, I'm going to have to have some fun with the wildlife up there. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We only have 2 weeks, and we got to do some firefighting in between. But that's a little bit of backstory on me.
I'm Ryan Straley. I lived out in Spring Hill, Kansas, but I've been bow hunting the West since 2004. Archery hunting elk's one of my favorite things. I started filming some hunts for Outback Outdoors and Hamsky Archery Solutions, and that's allowed me to experience a lot of those trophy quality, adventures and share it with others that I may not have, as a flatlander from Kansas, may never draw a sheep, a goat, a Shiras moose in the lower 48. I may never draw those tags as a non-resident. And so filming has helped me experience that, and also I love sharing it with others. We've had some work get submitted and make the full draw film tour, if you're familiar with that, with the archery hunters.
Yep.
So just love that. I love people, I love the outdoors and fighting fire, and so kind of here I am on my way to Alaska.
You met two of the right guys here, because both of us just love to talk about the outdoors, so it works out perfect.
Well, and that's why Chubbs and I started a podcast, because we talk about it all the time.
Absolutely.
We're texting, we're talking, we're always in it, always planning the next hunt, always enjoying the hunt that we're on. Absolutely. And we love sharing it with other people.
Amen
so
to that.
How long have you gentlemen been in hunting?
So me personally, I've been hunting ever since I was little. I remember whenever I was younger, my dad always took us in the outdoors, whether it was fishing, hunting. I remember the first time I ever watched my dad shoot a deer, it was during doe season, and he took me out with him, and I was probably 6 years old whenever that happened. I've gotten into bow hunting more as I've gotten older. Whenever I got into college is whenever I did a little bit more bow hunting, and the second I grabbed, my dad had an old bow, and he actually couldn't use it anymore because he had a shoulder issue, so I just started using his old Bear bow that my mom bought him back, I don't even know, early 90s or whatever, and I got addicted, and I've slowly built up to Matthews now, and it's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing.
Excellent.
So I just had it in my blood, I guess. I've always been interested in it. I can remember I grew up without a father. He was killed in a car wreck in 1980, and so, but I would go and visit uncles and that, and see trophy elk and 200-inch mule deer on the wall at their place, and looking at the gun cabinet and admiring all the beautiful rifles and shotguns. So seeing that enough, I think, and then reading a lot of magazines, not being able to, on the outside looking in, not being able to go as much as I wanted to until I was old enough to drive, and that passion just fueled. But I can remember the first time a friend of ours' dad took me on my first quail hunt in 7th grade, and my first rabbit hunt with one of my uncles, and all those things. And then whenever I got old enough to drive and work, that's all I ever did. And then getting into the fire service kind of helped fuel that with the schedule, and that has been really conducive. But I started out on the other end with traditional archery equipment, and then migrated up to compound archery, but probably getting ready to migrate back down to the traditional stuff.
So my dad started me with traditional, and I've gone back and forth my whole life between a stick bow and a compound. And I actually purchased a new stick bow here this year. It's a Great Northern recurve, and I'm slowly getting back into that traditional scene. But I love both.
Yeah.
I've never done the traditional side, but that's amazing to everybody that
My
does
largest
it.
whitetail to date was taken with a Bob Lee signature recurve takedown bow at 7 yards, and I've just never had anything like that. And I think that getting ready for learning to elk hunt and seeing 360 bulls, but need to be able to shoot to 45, 50 yards is how I got into compound archery. And then I go out, and I do that. I'm calling in raghorns and pass on them people. I'm in a public place, public ground in Colorado, an over-counter tag, and I'm calling in elk on my first time, never, and the locals are like, "You passed a fight?" I was like, "Yeah, it's a raghorn." I'm like, "It's a raghorn 5-point." Like, "You don't pass a bull like that," you right, or whatever. And it's like, well, with my recurve, the thing is, I would have taken that bull, and I would have not passed any elk with a recurve bow, and I've had more encounters up close like that, but it's caused me to be a little bit more selective on the elk hunting, but an acquaintance of mine, South Cox, he has Stalker, he has the stick bow company out of Colorado, and he does longbows, and he has a really neat submission for the full draw deal. It was like the 10-foot bull. And it's all on film. It's an incredible film, but that's spectacular. So
that's excellent.
But if you like to call, I love to call. So I love to turkey hunt. Well, elk hunting is like turkey hunting.
It's like turkey hunting on steroids.
And so, and there's no better time to be in the mountains when the quakies are turning, and and all of that. So that's one of my favorite archery targets is the elk hunting.
It's that's such a controversial topic, and I don't want to get down a rabbit hole. That turkey hunting and elk hunting.
Oh,
there's two camps. There's the camp that thinks they're similar, and it's a very good opportunity to exercise your tactics for both seasons. And there's the other camp where they are staunch on turkey hunting is nothing like elk hunting. And for me, especially now living out east, one of the ways I scratch my elk itch is by turkey hunting. And again, I started doing turkey hunting backcountry style this last spring, and that really brings me closer to that Western style hunting and pursuing elk, because I'm doing everything the same other than pursuing, that the animals are just, they're different in size, they eat different, they pack out different.
Yeah. And back east, if you're in an area where the turkeys are so plentiful that it's almost not a challenge, that's one thing. But if you're an experienced caller and you know that you're not going to always call a mature tom off of a bunch of hens, and you're likely not to call a big herd bull off of a harem of cows, especially in a general area where they've been talked to all the way through the seasons and
pressured pretty good.
And so again, wilderness style hunting, that's how I isolate where I go on public land. As I get up there, bivvy out, sleep with the elk, until snow pushes us all down. That's kind of how I've been doing it.
Yeah, I love it.
Had success from Idaho to New Mexico doing that.
Excellent. So how long have you been in firefighting?
So I started doing volunteer firefighting in Seneca when was that? 2019 is whenever I joined on there. And I got to know my good buddy Bryce, who is part of the Kansas Forest Service full-time now. He was part-time with them at the time, and then he actually became a DFMO, District Fire Management Officer. And he went full-time, and I came up to him and I said, hey, I'm a teacher full-time, that's my job, and I teach diesel mechanics. I said, I got summers off, and I'm looking to make some extra money. And so he got me introduced to all this with the Kansas Forest Service, and so that's what I've been doing now for 4 years during my summers off. And honestly, was not planning on going out this year. This year's been extremely slow for fires in the U.S. And then all of a sudden Bryce called me up and he said, hey, we just got name requested to go to Alaska and we're leaving Friday. If you can make it work into your schedule. And I said, let's go.
Excellent. Excellent.
So,
Thanks for being a teacher. My wife's
Absolutely.
a teacher. I have a lot of respect for teachers. I could not do your job.
It is especially teaching high school students, it's something I never thought in a million years that I would do. I went in diesel mechanics expecting to be working on trucks for the rest of my life, or tractors, whatever, or eventually working up into management. And it's extremely rewarding. Does not come without its own challenges though. So it's been amazing.
Right on. I got on with the Olathe Fire Department back in 2005 and been there ever since. It's been an incredible career. Started out on the ambulance. I didn't know you could make a career out of being a firefighter. I grew up in a small town that was volunteer, and of course didn't really know anybody that was a firefighter or whatever. But once I started rubbing elbows with volunteer fire departments on the medical calls back in the early 2000s, I fell in love with it, and super grateful for it. Obviously, I got friends in the private sector that money can't buy happiness, and there's a piece when you're at the middle of the adult life cycle, you really value dedication to service, something bigger than yourself, and public service is that, whether you're public works, solid waste management, police, fire, EMS, that's serving others basically, and so I've really enjoyed it. It's been an awesome career. So.
I love it. The only reason I left the fire service was because my draw to serve my country and the military was greater than my drive to serve my city. Other than what I did in the military, I would have to say that the next greatest thing was being a fireman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
And thank you for your service for military service.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome. Absolutely.
So do either of you saddle hunt?
I don't. I tell you what, I have really considered getting into the saddle hunting. I've really considered buying one. For me personally, where I hunt right now, a saddle doesn't work. For where I a couple of my locations, I have like one of my main property that I've been hunting for the last 4 or 5 years now. It's basically overgrown pasture is essentially what it is. It's really tall eastern red cedars, locust trees, some Osage orange, so it's tough to get a saddle into those trees, and especially because they're not very tall trees to begin with most of the time.
We got to talk. We must talk.
So I would love to get a saddle because I would love to try and get out into some of the areas, like whether I'm going out east, go out to Colorado or out to Kentucky and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I would love to start doing some of those out-of-state hunts more and get a saddle, be able to be a little bit more maneuverable and mobile with those saddles. But right now, do some tree stand hunting. Like I said, a lot of it's like eastern red cedar, so my tree stand is like 10 foot off the ground. So
last year hunting out of a tree saddle, I spent more time at 8 to 10 feet than I did at 20 or 25.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, so for mine, like with my own property, I can set up a tree stand. I feel more comfortable in a tree stand than I do a saddle. So that's one thing that
Wait a minute, have you been in a saddle?
I've been in a saddle a couple times, and I don't think I would have an issue hunting out of a saddle. It's just I feel more comfortable because that's what I've grown up doing, is being in a tree stand, and so I'm not open to a saddle, but I just feel more comfortable in a tree stand. But it's one of those things of, yeah, if I had the time to be able to go out and do some of those hunts, that's the one thing that kind of stinks about a teacher job at times, is like I have my entire summer off, and I'm so thankful for having my summer off, but I only get so many vacation days during the year, so I have to use those selectively and be very, very precise with which days I'm using, what hours I'm taking off, so I can still get out and do the hunting I want to. But so that's where I'm at right now. Eventually, I would love to get in the saddle, though.
A lot of the guys in our firehouse have been using saddles for the last few years. I've really enjoyed listening and watching them discuss that. That really would have been up my alley. I'm kind of a poor example of whitetail hunting, really. I just take it for granted, growing up with it, saturated with it early. I do have kids now that most of my whitetail hunting is guiding the youth there, and seeing that, helping them learn to archery hunt. And in Kansas, we have a neat season structure where we value the larger, older age class animals, and so you're only allowed one antlered animal a year. But for a resident in Kansas, they can hunt with any season, any weapon, and so teaching them marksmanship and gun safety and all of those things has been fun. But when I was really needing a mobile setup early on, I went to a Lone Wolf Alpha hand climber. So I love the climbing stands, and for that reason. So I would really be up for saddle style. I love that idea. I hate to sit in a tree. I love spot and stock type stuff, and all that. But if you're going to take a 200-inch whitetail, you need to be in the right tree. So I've got a farm in southeast Kansas, so I think I have 15 tree stands on it. And a lot of them now have migrated to a double stand. So as I'm guiding, and coaching youth hunters, those are really good for that. So I'd like to know more about it. I'd like to sit in one. I haven't sat in one, but I love the idea. I love the idea of it. It
is a game changer, and especially because I grew up spot and stock. It's a much different elevated style of hunting than being in a climber or a lock-on. You can move 360 degrees around the tree.
I could punch some tags with one.
You can climb virtually any tree in the woods, and it's so mobile.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Phil's given us a time hack that we're getting close to having to shut this down, and this is great.
I wish that we didn't. I wish that, if we didn't have to be back over talking to our group, then
I would love to.
I would sit here and talk with you for 2 hours. I would love to, but yeah, we just unfortunately, we gotta get back over to our group.
Okay, so we're gonna do another quick reminder, so that you gentlemen can once again get your information out there to folks on who you are, what platforms that you're on. And send you on your way with all the best wishes of safety and a good time and coming home back to your family in the lower 48.
Appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. Like I said, my name is Phil Leertz. Look up Send It Hunt on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all of it. I post a few videos on YouTube, not a whole lot, but I have a few on there. But if you ever want to find me there, or just look me up. Even my name, I think it's actually Fill My Cup on Instagram. So you're more than welcome to look me up on there as well.
That's cute.
It is cute.
I'm gonna do that. So yeah, Ryan Straley. I've got a little a program going. It's called Huntscaper. Huntscape LLC, but huntscaper.com is the address, website. It's a wildlife stewardship and habitat land management company there, but also has that emphasis and ability to consult and help people learn how to use the public land out west, to recruit youth members and to alleviate the burdens of the states, so they're not using Pittman Roberts and Tax Act money for recruitment programs that aren't working. But for us outdoorsmen, it's not always a pay-to-play sport. We gotta bring people in and recruit them ourselves. It's up to us to do that.
Absolutely.
And so I'm very passionate about that, and really right now really consumed with guiding youth hunters and making films with them and for them and stuff like that.
So
huntscaper.com.
If we have like 2 minutes, because Badlands is one of our sponsors.
No kidding.
For
That
our
was my
podcast.
first best
No
pack
kidding?
I ever used to get me out.
So
I
tell
had the 2200 is one of the best packs
Love
I ever
this.
had.
So-
I hunted.
Yeah, that was one of the best packs ever made.
So-
2200 was.
Blake, Nate, I want you guys to hear this quick story. This is how I met Phil randomly in the airport, which brought us to right here.
Absolutely.
Doing this podcast. Tell us the story about your pyre.
So, I got into Badlands because of the lifetime warranty, and I was like, I know some people hate that camo. I don't know why. I love that camo pattern. It's one of the greatest patterns ever made, in my opinion. But so I was like, I want to start getting some cold equipment for deer hunting, and coyote hunting, all that stuff. And so I ended up buying the pyre, bibs, and the jacket. And it was a little bit louder than what I wanted from a whitetail stuff, so I ended up sending it at the jacket, but I was like, I can absolutely use these bibs for different things. And so those bibs, I ended up using them on a waterfowl hunt, and they are the warmest things ever. I told people, like, I can wear those bibs with just underwear in 0-degree weather, and I'd probably still be warm. Like, I'd probably still be sweating. They're so warm, and I'd love them. But I was wearing them on the waterfowl hunt, and I got just a smidge too close to a propane heater with my left leg.
How about a little fire,
And
Scarecrow?
all of a sudden, one of the guys goes,
Could you
"Phil,
say hydrocarbons?"
I smell something. And I look over, and sure enough, my left leg, right on my left side of my left leg, is like melting. I'm like, oh no. Well, I got it out. I ended up being fine, using it for the rest of the hunt. And I got back that day, and I was like, wait a second. Badlands has the no questions asked lifetime warranty on these things. I sent those bibs in. I don't know if I've even told you about this. I sent those bibs back to Badlands, and they sent me back a brand new pair of Badlands bibs.
Doesn't surprise me.
No questions.
That's what it's about. And, stuff is expensive, but when somebody's getting new into the sport, if they're serious, especially about using the gear to the max, you can't go wrong with a warranty and customer service like that.
Yeah, customer service, bar none. Nobody gets close, and it's amazing. And thank you, Badlands, for everything you guys do.
Love you, Blake. Love you, Badlands. All right, gents. I guess that's going to be a wrap. Thanks for tuning in to another Tailgate Talk, another airport Tailgate Talk. We'll catch you guys soon, and Chubbs loves it when I do this. Be limitless.